You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
Yep.
Don't touch it!
Next week on King of the Hill, it's a Mother's Day spectacular.
Bobby. Mr. Hill, I've diagnosed your son with attention deficit disorder. What if this is all my fault? You know who I am?
He has ADD, Luann. He didn't get hit in the head with a coconut. From now on, you'll be taking medication after every meal.
There's some milk in the fridge that's about to go bad. And there
Don't miss one of the last King of the Hills set in Texas.
Cap, I do not feel the same way you do about the black people.
Come on.
And just leave it at that and go, and well.
What?
Welcome to this week's episode of Couch Potatoes. I'm Alex.
I was going to milk that longer, but...
Morrison. Fuck him, it's Cap. You know it's Cap.
It's like, I'm just going to back away.
Oh, if you only caught the pre-roll for that one, ladies and gentlemen. We actually started this episode a couple times.
Yeah.
Oh, man. We're going to be kicking this season 2 episode off. We're actually... just might as well just jump right in the ones because before we kind of had to introduce everyone, talk about the cast.
We know who all's in it.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this, you know who everybody is.
Probably the only production fact, which I'm sure you saw this on the Wikipedia page too.
Yeah.
The only thing that really they did between season 1 and 2, other than double the amount of fucking episodes.
Yeah.
It says here that showrunner for the season was Greg Daniels. Wes Archer, the supervising director, did a redesign for most of the characters to make them appear more realistic than they did in the first season.
Darkening lines, do better colors.
That happens with any animated series.
Especially after its first season.
Yeah. I just felt reason to bring that up simply because you mentioned that in the last season with the animation being rather odd.
Kind of like, it was no different like The Simpsons.
Right, or Family Guy or South Park.
American Dad, all those. They were all... And those shows all have gimmicks just like this one, you know.
Exactly.
Even the intro changes after, I think, season 5 or 6.
Yeah, it goes
intro,
HD or something.
Yeah. It's a lot more high def. Very more.
Actually, they changed it 3 times. There was when it went to kind of like the streamlined Family Guy style artwork. And then there was a third one.
Where they do the cowbell.
Oh, yeah, that was ever present. I was talking about from visual style. But then there was a third one, which... it's going to be a long time until we get this season, so I'm not talking about for a second. But they make a quick joke, and it's when they jumped from being square to full widescreen. Yeah. And the opening gag was them all sitting outside or standing outside in front of the fence, sipping beer. Yep. Mm-hmm. And then Dale like, something's different. And then it just cuts away to the intro. But yeah, that's later in the seasons. And it was interesting because they went to the streamlined design and then they went widescreen like a few seasons later.
So it's a very subtle difference.
But yeah, so they technically went through like 3 design changes, so I found that odd.
This is one of the few seasons that, from beginning to end are pretty fucking solid episodes.
Again, these early seasons, they were just knocking them out of the park with quality.
There's a lot of stuff that Hank Hill says, or Dale and Bill and Boomhauer, they know that they're very conscious of other people.
Yeah.
And like conscientious, like a lot of empathy for other people.
Yeah. Especially Bobby.
And
Bobby.
I love the play around with Bobby and Connie. I love that because
like Bobby and Cotton.
I
think it's this season. Maybe it's season 3 in particular, where they have Bobby and Cotton have like little, or Bobby has tender feelings about how Cotton treats everybody in his world.
It's the end of season 3.
Yeah. Okay, that's season 3.
Yeah.
But still, you can still see that a little bit in the Cotton episodes on this one. Like,
like
there's not really any new characters that
if I remember right,
come out in this season, are there?
Yes,
Leanne.
We'll get to episode 11. That's a big Cotton episode.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But no, jumping straight in it, you got how to fire a rifle without really trying.
Yeah.
That's when you find out that one of the few things about Bobby Hill, he is magnificent with a motherfucking firearm. He is a surgeon with that damn thing.
Yes.
And he's like...
The two things Bobby's good at, figuring out meat and shooting.
And comedy.
Yeah, and comedy. He's good at that.
He's got a weird but great formula to go by. He's going to be the funniest motherfucker to kill
It's
you.
like deep down, like
and then cut you up.
Deep down, Bobby wants to get out of like the southern Texas,
he's
lifestyle.
Right. He does have Texas, like...
He has Texas pride. He
Texas
doesn't
pride,
have...
Because he has Arlen pride. Remember that?
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
I'm from Arlen, Texas, the next home of the Cowboys training camp. It's like, no, Bobby. No. He's like, but my dad is like, that's when you realize, I think in this season, that Bobby and his dad are more alike than anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But this first episode is hilarious.
That's like when Bobby
because,
becomes a teen, because we don't see Bobby become a an asshole teenager.
No. And that's good.
But I like this one because I think what you're trying to get to, which is Hank's PTSD on the whole thing with Cotton.
Hank can't shoot a gun for shit.
Yeah.
Because of Cotton Hill.
Yeah.
And you remember the monologue for that one, for Cotton Hill's monologue? It's Boomhauer, Dale, Hank, and a little Boomhauer.
Yeah.
And they're all with guns, and it goes boom, 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 and then shaking. You hear metal rattling. It's Hank just like, fire the goddamn gun. Like, but he's like, some of you will be drafted.
Mm-hmm. And some of you
will die. Hank, like Hank. Some of you will come back war heroes. Some of you will die, like Hank. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Cold-hearted bastard.
And it's just hilarious. Like growing up with kids at my age when all this stuff was coming out could relate to us and watch this and make fun of like, oh yeah, he can't shoot guns either.
Did you ever shoot guns a lot when you was a kid though?
I didn't. We had a 12 gauge rifle, but we shoot it like once in a blue moon just for.
I got really into guns there for a while. My dad did. I knew more guns than my dad did.
I never got into hunting or anything like that, and it wasn't even because of like killing animals or like shooting guns or anything like that. It's just the idea of getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and freezing cold.
No, we didn't go. I didn't go hunting. I went hunting as a secondary quite a few times. But nah, man, I'll tell you anything you want to know about guns. I fucking love guns. Well, what's the shit? And I have some strong beliefs about.
What's a cheap one I can get after I get my fucking permits?
If you're getting a permit, that means you're getting a pistol. So I would go with a good old fashioned 45. And cops carry 9mm. 9mm are made to put someone down.
I'm just going to start recording with just a big old piece in my pocket just to let everybody know and just be that guy.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. He's fulfilling the long-term joke of Cap does not need a gun.
Let's not do that.
If anyone's seen the Burt Kreischer special where he's talking about owning a gun, that would be Cap owning a gun.
No,
he
I
would
hide
be looking for shit in his room with the fucking flashlight on it, waving it around and shit.
No, I would be like, I would forget I would have it. It would just be in my drawer somewhere. I'd be like, oh, I did get that.
Yeah, then he would scare himself with it. Oh, God, it's a gun. Oh, wait, I bought that.
I'll tell you, if you do get a gun, let me know. I'll show you everything you want to know about a gun. And we'll go shooting.
That's why this
that's the whole... Like,
and he won't Cotton Hill you.
And I won't Cotton Hill you.
But that's why this episode is hilarious to me, just because of, Southern tropes
and
like that.
And the interesting thing about the episode is they don't give you the quote-unquote happy ending. They don't win the competition.
They bad news bears the fucking thing.
They get second place, but Bobby treats it like a fucking championship.
And
he's like, Dad, we got number 2.
Can we do it again?
Can we do it again next year?
It's so tender.
God. And like, there's one part of it. He's like, can I get a gun rack on my bike? He's like, son, that's the greatest question you could have ever asked.
He's like, how long I've waited for you to ask me that question?
And like Bobby's that's when you find out Bobby's really critical of himself.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, so like when target shooting and stuff like that, you get what's called grouping. Mm-hmm. All right, so it's how close you can get the whole, like the shots within a certain amount of distance, right?
Right.
So if you got a grouping that's like 12 inches wide, you tell it real shooting.
Yeah. But
if you can minimize that grouping down to like Bobby was doing, which it looks like 2 holes in it, but he shot 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Into that grouping. If you can get that down, Bobby's fucking Lee Harvey Oswald. Like,
he's like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon, where like Mel Gibson shoots the fucking smiley face on the fucking paper target.
But exactly what you're saying. As soon as it pulled in, he was like, I can still work on my grouping.
And he's like, I'm a little upset about the grouping. It's like, motherfucker, you put 3 shots down range within less than a millimeter between them. Like he put a fucking hole, a solid hole with 3 bullets, and it was 22 Plinkster. Remember that? He's using a fucking 22.
Bobby,
Granted, this is an animated show.
Yeah, but still,
that's fucking hilarious.
Bobby will be a New York comedian, but he'll always be a fucking country boy.
Can't survive. Yeah, Bobby Hill sent me pictures of the Broadway Nights because he was on it.
And unfortunately, probably because of the way society started running, they weren't able to really revisit that storyline again.
No, you really don't see like another gun episode until the hunting episode.
They kind of do episodes of where Bobby, does more, Southern tropes that,
Yeah.
He's really good, like you were saying, like running the grill, or has like his tender moments with his father. That's what I kind of grouped this gun episode
that's
as.
what they kind of shoot for in this show.
Well, they do another episode. Is it in season 2 where they go to the game ranch to shoot animals that are like fenced in or whatever?
Hold on, I'm looking through the.
Well, while he's looking through that, I feel like we said enough on that. Moving on to the next episode is actually Texas City Twister.
Oh, that's a funny one.
I love that one. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, where Hank has to run out and
because he vaguely told Peggy to go to hell.
Yeah, he's like, well, honey, if I said you go to this one place that I'd say you go there now. And it's just like
he felt.
And then Nancy Hicks Gribble, she's like, honey, I gotta go. So we got a Texas-sized tornado coming, and it could be a big one. Yeah, and that's what Dale says. Some weird shit. He's like, no, it's like. He's like, he gets Boomhauer with a fucking camcorder in the truck. Truck, and
he's like storm chaser.
They're doing storm chasing.
Yep.
He's like, this is for the years of you tearing down my shed back in '92, and then a drop of rain hits the windshield, and he's like, ah! And he's like, oh god, the end days. He just freaks out.
That happens a lot too.
Bobby does say, he's like,
what's the Dale scream?
Don't take me. Climbs the fence. Fucking rattles up a fucking fence, bro. But this is one of the ones where Bill tries to get a little bit of pride and they still knock him down a peg.
One of his few.
Yeah, what is his few? He's like, damn it, Bill, I need to get past here. He's like, I can't hear you. He's like, damn it, Bill. He's like, come on, Hank, just give me a little bit of respect. I'm in the goddamn army, man.
Well, it all started because Hank got a phone call, like a bill or something about the trailer.
No. A guy threatens him in the beginning of the episode. You don't remember that?
Yeah.
Guy comes up with a fucking wrench. And he runs a trailer park.
Oh, yeah.
He comes up to Hank's door, and he's like, is this the address of Luann Platter? He's like,
oh, yeah.
Maybe. And he's like, can I help you? He's like, yeah, you owe me some money. He's like, do I? Do I really? And he's like, you better have something bigger than a fucking,
something like
better, you have to have something bigger than a fucking 3-wood.
He's like, 9-iron.
He's like, 9-iron. He's like, good day, sir.
Yeah, and then I love the exchange after that. He goes, hey, Luann, what basically starting to ask her about that property, and he's like, something about the house still being there? She goes, nuh-uh, it's tipped over. He's like,
oh,
right.
Yeah. Now, Luann, I have a beer. And if I tip it over, do I still have a beer? Yes. Okay. Now, if I take a trailer and tip it over, does the trailer still there? And it's just like, oh god, the mental capacity
I know.
for understanding is gone. And then it's a Hank Hill project.
Yes.
With the boys. He's like, all right, let's flip this son of a bitch. They flip it back over, and he's all happy because he's like, hey, Luann.
Oh, but one of the great jokes that happens in that is they hook it up to the winch, this truck and everything, and they're like, all right, go. He's like pulling it, and it's like stuck in the rain or something. Yeah. And he's like, go. And it like rolls, it does a double roll back over to the other side, and he's like, god damn.
And then he hits another trailer when he finally gets it over. He hits another trailer, knocks it over.
I love the project scenes with everybody just because like nothing ever gets done.
It's total Three Stooges comedy.
It really is.
Same with that episode where they got to do the septic tank.
Yes.
Hank meets the doppelganger. But no, he's like...
Drew Carey.
Drew Carey. But he's digging holes constantly in Bill's yard. He's like, damn it, Bill, I've ruined your great lawn. Because that pisses off Hank more than anything.
I know.
And he's like, well, Hank, where's your septic tank? Backyard. 2 feet from the curve, 8 inches from the fence. And it's just like, of course he fucking knows where it's at.
Goddamn hill.
Go back to episode 1. There's that competition scene, and Cotton shows up and fucks up that whole fucking shooting moment with Hank. He's like, oh, I got money on this for you to lose.
Yep.
Sorry, Bobby.
And,
Your daddy's going to lose this for you.
Speaking of Bobby, one of my favorite, because they did Bobby so well in those early seasons, especially like what you're saying on the scale of chaotic good to chaotic evil. Bobby is the most purest evil corner. Purest
corner.
Purest good corner possible.
He's
From Strickland to Bobby.
He's so innocent.
Yes,
He is.
Bobby is number uno on that.
And that goes to the next episode too, the Arrowhead.
Whoa, but one of my probably top 5 favorite Bobby things ever was when Hank freaks out because the tornado is going toward, because basically the filler part of that episode was he's like, fuck you, I'm kicking you out, you're moving back into this house that you have horrible memories in.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the knife, Uncle Hank. I mean, there's the fork.
There's the fork Mama stabbed Daddy
Oh,
with.
yeah.
And there's the beer can Mama threw at Daddy.
Yeah, so it's like fuck you, I'm gonna make you live back in your old PTSD ridden home and all this shit. And then tells Peggy's all mad about it, tells her to go to hell. She goes to the trailer park. Tornado's coming toward the trailer park. Hank gets all fucked up and is like, come on, Bobby, let's go. He's grabbing his coat, runs out the door. Bobby stops and goes, hold on.
Grabs an egg.
Grabs a fucking egg.
Because of Dale Gribble.
Yes.
Humpty's revenge. The strong will become weak.
So all because of Dale and all his fucking diatribes. Bobby
Cats
runs.
and dogs will flee. Up will become down. The weak will the strong will become weak.
It'll make eggs fly through
He's like-
brick walls.
The winds can whip so fast a simple egg can go through a brick wall known as. And the camera closes up.
Yeah, like
and he
really
gets
close to him.
He gets close to Dale's face and goes, "Whoom, Humpty's revenge."
So pure,
Fucking-
sweet summer Bobby running to the fucking fridge to grab an egg before running out with
And
his
then
dad.
took it to the face.
And yes, it saw his moment between his daddy getting all his
He
clothes.
literally saw a brick wall.
Yes, because between his daddy getting all his clothes ripped off and shit, holding onto a lamppost, sees his moment, sees a fucking brick wall, pulls out that egg, goes to throw it, goes maybe a foot in front of his face, and then whack, right
I
back.
love the fact in that episode you find out that Peggy's willing to lie for Hank.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my God, Aunt Peggy, you remember that part where Uncle Hank lost all his clothes? Not his underwear. But it was not his underwear.
Yeah, she
I
was
love the
like,
old
I'm
lady.
setting
I
this
love the old
narrative
lady.
straight now.
I think the old lady's hilarious.
But it's
Because she's like, I've seen a barrel of pickles in my day. That is some fucking old South shit right there. Oh, honey, it's okay. I've seen a barrel of pickles in my day.
my favorite part of the episode is Hank, hanging on for dear life on a pole while a tornado is
And he has
bearing down on him.
Yeah.
With his clothes off, going like, I didn't mean to vaguely tell you to go to hell.
I love you, Peggy.
I love you.
I love you. I love Bobby. And I love Luann.
To a lesser extent.
It's just like, God damn, Hank, you could possibly be
remember his-
dying, and
remember
that's
his-
what you want to leave Luann
Remember
with?
his major choice? The Texas flag or a cactus?
Yes, and he chose the fucking cactus.
I will not desecrate the Texas flag. With
Up next, one of Chris's favorite
I
episodes.
love the Arrowhead episode.
Yes.
You get to see Cotton teaching the boys about hunting.
Yes.
Yep.
And then you get that's one of the episodes where it's like, hey, John Redcorn, can you give us some fucking bullshit Order of the Arrowhead?
Well,
He's like,
this one's the one where the archaeologist is digging up their front
oh,
yard.
yeah, I'm thinking of the camping episode.
Yeah. No, this is the one where Peggy finds a Indian artifact, quote unquote,
and like
in her front yard.
Oh no, Hank finds the first one.
Yeah.
it's a T-shaped.
Gives it to- yeah.
And he asks John Redcorn. He's like, hey, what is this?
Uh-huh,
But
he's
before he goes to see John Redcorn,
He's hanging out in the alley with the guys.
he's hanging out with the alley with the guys, but he hits his tiller. His tiller hits it.
Yeah.
And it fucks up his tiller. So he's in the garage, and he straps it to a fucking light string. And they're like, Dad, what is that? He's like, well, I'm not sure what it is. I'm pretty sure a Native American would jab this in the back at the base of a white man's skull, and the blood would come out these two ends. And it's just like, and he's like, click, click. And then he asks John Redcorn. He's like, hey, John Redcorn, what is this? He's like, it straightens the shaft of an arrow. And it's just like, God damn, Hank, you were off. He's like, these things are very sacred to my people. He's like, yeah, a lot of stuff's sacred to your people. You think it's worth anything? You could take it by the community college.
You do that so well.
Dude, I've watched that dude for years. He's on another show.
Parks and Rec. You watching that?
Dude talks. It doesn't change his cadence.
You were talking about that.
Oh, he's like, white people are scared of curses.
But yeah, so leading to that, he takes it to the college, and that's what sparks the archaeologist to dig in there.
And that guy's a fucking dick.
And that
and poor
Jerry's,
old gullible Peggy falls for every fucking trick in the book.
who voices the archaeologist? Isn't it like Jerry Springer?
I was gonna say, I think it was Jerry Springer.
It's Maurice Lamar.
Maurice Lamar?
I thought it was somebody.
Professor?
I thought it was somebody that was like more famous, like famous to me. Like,
Yeah,
for some reason,
I really did think
He
that
sounded
was.
like Jeff Goldblum a little bit, but it
I think
wasn't
it was
him.
Jeff Goldblum.
I used to think it was him for a while.
for some reason, I think it's Jerry Springer.
I'm looking that up real quick. Y'all can keep talking.
But
But,
no,
I like that episode a good bit.
That song has got the episode has also got "Feel Like Making Love."
Oh yeah, was that when
Yes.
And when John Redcorn's like blasting fucking.
when Mike Judge is like, I'm just going to buy the entire Bad Company catalog
But no,
and
he
use it as John
pulls up to
Redcorn's
Hank's.
background
He
music.
pulls up to John Redcorn's house and he's blasting Bad Company.
Yeah.
And he's like, Mr. Redcorn, like John. Oh, hello, Hank. He's blasting Crank Rock. He's probably smoking a marijuana and fucking just thinking about fucking dancing.
My favorite part of that episode is the very end where like the archaeologist is trying to get up in Hank's face or like tries to come out of the pit that they dug. And Hank just
Yes.
keeps pushing
He's like,
him back
I
in.
like it when you
shoving
push me down the hole.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, I'm the winner here. You're the one that looks like the asshole. And he's just like, pop.
Hank's just like,
Pop.
I can,
A revolving door of gags.
I can do this all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Leonard winds up planting the fucking chicken bone thing. No, Hank plants it.
Yeah, because he buys a whole bucket of chicken and Bobby starts eating it. And Luann starts helping him eat it.
Yeah, Peggy falls for a lot of that kind of stuff. Where it's like she meets an archaeologist, all of a sudden she's an expert, and she'll meet the magician, and all of a sudden she's an expert.
Yeah. It's one of those things where flattery goes a long way with Peggy Hill.
Okay, yeah. Professor Leonard, voiced by Maurice Lamarche.
Lamar, he does a lot of voices in the show.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
So that's who it was. I was right on
You
Camp's
recognize
level
his
too.
vo-
I
you-
could have sworn it
you'll
was Jerry
recognize
Springer.
his voice because he does constant voices in Hank Hill or
Got
in,
it.
King of the Hill.
Okay.
I understand.
But no, that's that. It's
some
not
reason
my,
I thought that was a cameo.
Arrowhead isn't my favorite episode. The Order of the Straight Arrows.
Yeah.
But the next one is one they almost never show on TV anymore.
Yep, you're right.
Halloween.
I love that one though. You can still stream it though,
Yeah.
thankfully.
Oh yeah, but like when they were doing like reshoot, like syndication and stuff, they would never show that episode.
Dude, you can actually just hop on YouTube. There are a ton of people talking about like the controversy of that episode
Yeah, because
and everything
it's
else.
a religion versus state thing. And
Talking about even just the visuals.
Yeah.
And there's a version of that episode that's never
dark.
been released.
Yeah.
Never been aired.
Well, like that's when you realize that Luann's very gullible.
yeah.
But when it comes to Christianity,
Oh shit! No, I'm even thinking of the wrong episode. Sorry,
No, but-
I'm thinking of the episode of the meat with the meat packaging.
Pygmalion.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the episode that's banned.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was banned, and then there's a version that was never shown, a version that aired, but now you can see that same
Because the
version
guy
via
gets sawed
streaming.
and the one that get showed, he gets sawed in half, and the one that's shown, he gets electrocuted.
Yeah, but there
Okay.
Well,
was
you'll get to there. That's fucking weird. It's a Luann episode.
well,
Yeah.
actually, it's worse than that. At the very end, it's the thing that's going tunk,
Yeah.
tunk. They actually animated it going thunk through him.
Yeah, it makes
that's the unaired.
makes a weird
That's
little
never
makes
that's
a
never
splatter
been.
noise.
Yeah, and that part's never been shown.
Okay.
but the version that's streaming only got shown once.
So I can't watch that today if I wanted to.
The version that's streaming is the
I
version
didn't know if
that
you
was
meant
shown
through
once.
all right. So it's only been like played on cable like once.
yeah, but you can now watch it through streaming. But there was like
X Files episodes.
yeah, but now there's like but then in the 90s they had to still recut it one more time.
It
just
is one
to
of the
do
weirder
syndications.
episodes.
I like it a lot though.
Yeah, it is weird.
But Halloween, you're right. That's
Yeah,
a good one.
Halloween's pretty good because that's when.
But yeah, you talked about like the how Christianity
Evangelical,
plays.
yeah.
Oh yeah, this is when you figure out that Sally Field is the guest star.
Yes.
and she plays. What was her name? Judy. I'm sure I remember, but she plays a bitch. she plays a fucking
pull it up.
psychopath,
That's-
conservative, like religious lady.
Right, because like all these I've been watching like
Junie Harper.
Yes,
Junie Harper.
That's what it
I was gonna say I wanted
Junie
to
Harper
find,
says. Junie Harper
She
doesn't
did
pay
do
the fucking bills in this
third
house.
person bullshit.
that's the reason I was wanting to find it was because I was like, they say it so much and it's going to be good for reference.
Because Hank kind of. Oh, that's when Hank puffs his chest up.
Yes.
And
Yes,
he's
that's
like-
right.
He's puffing his chest up, and Luann's doing the same thing because she's from the fucking trailer park.
You don't
fuck
fucking
somebody
mess
up.
with
She's
Chandler
ready to
Park.
fight, goddammit. And it all started with the little candies episode part where they're gonna take a bowl. The remember they're Methodists.
Yeah.
So they have a little bowl of candy going around the prayer circle, and it's like take a candy for every person you've had sex with, and the one's got like a handful, and Peggy's got 2, and like even Luann's like what? And
So what's the backstory there, Peggy?
yeah, they come back to it later on.
I thought that was a later episode when Luann got
saved again.
saved again. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I might be wrong, but
Yeah,
but it's
no,
a strong
no, this-
Christianity episode.
No, this one starts with
Them building the spooky thing.
yeah, and them building their haunted house, and then
Yeah.
the evangelicals wanting to shut it down.
Yeah.
And then Luann
Junie Harper wants to shut it down.
Yeah, Junie Harper wants to shut it down,
right.
and Luann joins
for
her
the table.
Bible group
the
that later on Bobby also winds up joining.
'Cause the whole
and they
thing
have
at the
their
end is-
Hallelujah house in
Oh my God, the Hallelujah
Rejection.
House is just a car salesman gone wrong.
Yes.
They're selling. It's like, what do I got to do to get you to sign this abstinence pledge?
Now,
Yep.
do you remember how Luann got Bobby to join the youth group?
Yeah, she told her Bobby, his dad was a devil.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And do you remember his nightmare?
Yeah, that. Come on, son, let's go. He's like dressed as the devil.
Yeah, well, because he was trying to, at the beginning of the episode, trying to find a Halloween costume for Bobby, and Hank's getting all disenfranchised. He's like, where's all the ghosts and demons and goblins and
ghouls.
yeah, all that
Yeah.
shit. And he's like, Princess Power Rangers.
She comes after him after the cops come. Remember? 'Cause
Yeah.
Hank and Bobby TP
Go-
someone's house.
Yeah,
and
go-
it scares Junie Harper. And she
Uh-huh.
accidentally runs over her cat.
Yeah. And then, but what I love during his dream sequence is he's remembering all that. Right before he goes to sleep, one other thing Luann says to Bobby is, Has your daddy ever made you do something that you felt was wrong? And he was like,
No. Has your daddy ever made you drink blood before?
Yeah, he's like,
he made me take communion. Like,
he made me eat liver once.
that is a recovered memory.
And
It's
he's like,
Jesus
oh my God.
Christ.
And during his nightmare, you see that clip. He's like, it's just liver, son. It won't kill you.
Yeah. I do like the fact that Hank and goes and gets his son. And he's like, I'm not doing this for the, like, it gets heated. And he's like, I'm not doing this for the candy. I want to spend this night with my dad. Which is
I
hilarious.
love the lead up to that. Like, that actually kind of hits me a little bit because, again, I love Halloween.
Remember, it goes into the town goes into a curfew because
yeah.
of her.
Yeah, and they kind of get everybody into like a little march toward Judy Harper too, don't they?
After they leave Judy Harper's house in a march.
And
yeah.
that march still kind of, it doesn't ever make me like cry or anything, but it does
cool.
kind of it hits me emotionally some because I always loved Halloween and I had a little bit of what happened in that episode in my own life.
Yeah.
My grandmother
Didn't like
was
it.
super Christian and didn't like Halloween.
Yeah.
So for a good 2 years, we weren't allowed to do anything related to Halloween.
Should have dressed up like Jesus.
And then after that, I started noticing that pop culture and even stores for a while weren't doing a lot of Halloween stuff. Like Halloween started slowly going away. It's felt like it's come back in the last 2 to 3 years.
They don't do a lot of neighborhoods anymore. Like,
They don't.
They do like a trunk or treat at churches.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
But
the
that's why that-
downtown Statesville and even Charlotte does it, where storefronts will offer candy.
Yeah.
And like there'll be a guy from the store or a woman dressed up and like, hey, happy Halloween, and just give them like the little dum pops. You know,
Yeah,
about
yeah,
like I think it's like 24 cents a ton.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's why that scene always gets to me is Hank just going down
remember-
that street
you remember
going
what
trick
Dale-
or treat.
Do you remember what Dale and them dressed up as?
Dale dressed up. Dale didn't do anything dressed up any, but he said he was like
I am a powerful Washington
Is it like-
lobbyist. I'm
Who
here to
wants
peddle
candy?
influence.
Right.
I'm here to peddle influence. Who wants candy? And like Bill was a ghost. He's like, oh,
I'm
I'm
a ghost.
And then ripped
Toga.
the toga. He's like, dang, yo, man, I got this turtleneck on. I'm thinking of James Bond, man. And Hank's dressed like the devil.
Yeah, wearing his old childhood costume.
And then that's what Luann dresses up as at the last minute. She makes her hair into her horns.
Yep, I liked it.
Now this next one, number 5, jumping crack bass, is hilarious.
I love this one too.
I'm gonna. He buys. So he goes to his favorite bait shop. And the guy's like, and this is foreshadowing toward the end actually. If you remember, he's talking to Earl's bait shop, and Earl's like, "Yeah, Hank, there's a guy down here on 8th and Vine. He's got all the bait you need. Oh, a country boy makes his own bait. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
you know." And then what is he doing? He's like, "Hank, Hank, Can you let's get out of here?" And he lights the store on fire.
Yeah.
And that's the same.
Insurance.
That's the same guy that Hank meets up with at Megalomart.
Yep.
Because remember, he had to burn his business down.
Yep. And he was selling bait over at Megalomart.
And the reason, another reason this is one of my favorite episodes. You guys know who James Carville is?
It sounds familiar.
James Carville is known as the Raging Cajun.
Oh, okay.
He helped Bill Clinton become president.
That's right.
However,
All right. Well,
he's been on the Feinbaum show quite a few times.
Is he in the debate scene with Billy Madison? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's how I know him. That's how fucked up that is.
He has this cool, like, smooth Louisiana accent. He's like, "Hey there, Mr. Hank. Hey there, Hank Hill. I want the court to recognize Hank Hill for with no regard to himself taking away, or not, was it stopping this young man, this drug addict, from breaking into his car." But it's James Carville, which at that time, this is 1997.
yeah.
This is deep in the Clinton years. Mm-hmm. He's a White House advisor. They got a White House advisor to be a fucking voice.
Again, Billy Madison
crazy.
probably came out around the same time, so I guess he was just kind of making the
very
rounds
popular.
on
James Carville
media.
is very popular, and he's one guy you do not want to get in an argument with.
Right, because that was his whole thing.
He knows his shit.
Yeah.
He will crush you. like this nice Southern guy who has, like, he's a Democrat, but
Yeah.
like, he's a Dixiecrat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's got strong Republican values and Democrat values. But the nicest guy on, like, radio and stuff, like, he'll let you talk all day, and, like, he'll tell you where you're wrong, but he'll do it in a polite way.
Yeah.
But now that voice he's got now, that deep Louisiana. Now, Hank, let me tell you.
Go Tigers, go Tigers.
Go Tigers, War Eagle. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and the episode just basically centers around Hank
Buying crack by accident.
Yeah, goes to the wrong fucking guy. Not a country boy. It was a black boy.
He was across the street.
Yeah.
That was a white guy.
Yeah, it was a white guy.
in a hoodie.
Oh, yeah, it was
He's
a
like,
white guy.
He's like, "Hey, are you Jack?" He's like, "Yeah, Jack.
Yeah,
I got what you need." He's like, "Well, I just need some bait." Yeah, I like the way you call that. Yeah, I like the way what you calling it, bait. Yeah, I like that. And he's like, "That'd be 21s, Jack." He's like, "Oh wow, $20." He's like, "Oh, okay," and he gives him like 3 rocks of crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Like gives him a vial of crack cocaine.
And he's like,
Hank doesn't know what it is.
sanitary.
I wonder how I get that on the hook. And he fucking braids it to the hook.
Yes! And the
then-
fish go fucking nuts.
And then that's when Dale and them give him it. Like, you fucking hypocrite with your goddamn freshly dug worm bullshit.
Yeah, because at the beginning he was a worm or die kind of mentality. It was like fucking Apple
Like
and
he was
PC
cheating.
guys. He was like Apple or die, worms or
I forget what the
nothing.
B-list story is in that, but I can't remember.
Yeah, it's probably nothing.
Then it becomes a whole thing where like they all like go crazy with it, and like fish start reacting to cocaine.
Then he
Put your
goes,
mouth on the microphone cap.
he gets popped.
Fix
He
this
gets
real
popped
quick.
buying crack because why? Dale showed up.
Yeah.
He's like, He's like, "Did you follow me?" He's like,
did.
"Yeah, I know what you've been doing." And he's like, "God damn it!"
And he was
then-
the one that basically brought the cops with him
And then they
by
play,
accident.
then they play this really funky the cops tune, like, you know.
Has there ever been like a MythBusters like debunk test on fish?
Oh
cocaine?
man, that would be fucked up.
First of all, you would have to have them get a hold of actual crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bitch on live television. Like, we have this they can never refer to it as crack. They can never refer to the episode as jumping crack bass.
They can refer to it as bait. We gotta get some bait.
Yeah, Jack, I like the way you talk about that. I like the way you named that, Jack. Now,
Like nobody's done research
and
on
then,
that.
then he has to prove to the judge that crack works, and it's not working because they're all junked out.
Well, at least he's got enough crack for the next episode when Bobby becomes a model.
Oh God,
Husky Bobby.
Husky Bobby.
this
And then
season's great.
This is so funny because he's like, "This is where the fat kids get food." He's like, "Am I fat?" He's like, "No, honey, you're special."
The whole thing of like a Bobby's slow realization that it is the fat kid store.
Yeah, he's like, "This is the fat kid
Well, he
store."
tells him, he like, let's just go ahead and jump because we got to get both of these. But look, jump to the end.
Yeah.
Hank's like, no, you cannot be a model.
Yeah.
Because you don't understand. This is where he kind of promotes bullying a little bit. He's like, these kids are about to get the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
Because,
Well, it's because Hank was a fucking bully.
Yeah,
They have
hey,
a flashback
hey,
in that.
fatty fat kid, you're
Fucking fat.
Oh,
you
I love
piece
that
of
it's,
shit.
It's implied at the beginning that any of Hank's flashbacks are like where he's the victim, but it's just like
Yes,
very
but
end,
he's
it's
like
no, bully. It just
Yeah,
flips
he's
on
like-
itself.
He's
like,
like,
got
trust
his
me,
head
Bobby,
down and-
I know.
he's on sitting on a bench with his head down. It's like, oh man, someone's gonna bully Hank. It's like, motherfucker, hey, fat kid, hey, you fatty piece of shit, you're
fat.
you're fat.
Yeah, so it's like, so he was totally on it, but and
Hey, he does have some good advice. Do not put a bunch of fat kids with donuts and,
And
a bunch
also-
of bullies in a mall.
and
At the
also
same time, he's kind of right.
let's not breeze over this one too quick because there are some weird moments in
Yeah.
this episode.
Oh yeah, they totally get into like the
like
model
A.
fucking like
Well,
industry, how
A.
pervy those people are.
The owner of the store is watching kids so close to where he can pick Bobby out and go, I like the way he wears my clothes.
Yeah,
That's a little weird.
It's a little weird in hindsight. Yeah.
They just kind of poke fun
And
at
then,
how
They
and
define-
then the model scenes, look at you up
Yo,
on your thing.
They're making fun of fucking those model photographers.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
He's like, I need you to act angry, blah blah blah. It's like a Zoolander type shit. And it's like, just look at the fucking camera.
I know. I like coming from someone like that's done band photo shoots. I like a little bit of direction, but don't
There's
yell
difference-
at me the entire
There's a
time.
difference between direction and being like, I need you to show emotion.
Yeah.
It's like, how? It's a photo.
Yeah, you can tell me tilt my head up or down to remove a chin or say, hey, scooch in closer. I know it's going to feel awkward, but it looks better in the photo.
and it makes fun of people in that industry of like model shooting too, about
Yeah.
how weird they all can be.
Now
The
next-
man.
the next one's the next episode is all for you, bud. Because Green Day shows up in that fucking episode.
Well, it took me forever to realize that one. But yeah, the man who shot Kane Sternberg. I like this one, barring the guess, but because it was the old guys, it sets it up so perfect because Hank and the guys start making fun of Pops.
Yeah, the old man.
At the beginning, because they're mad about the teenagers. Is like, oh goddamn kids and this that, and the other. Then immediately they're like, "Fuck you, Pops."
Yeah. But it's like, I remember. Was it, they lose? It's because Bobby and Joseph got their ass kicked.
Yeah.
And all right, man, let's go out there, and they get their ass kicked, obviously.
Yep.
And they're like, we need to fucking Dale immediately. Fucking starts talking to Bill about fucking life insurance.
No, Bill brings up the life
He does,
insurance.
but they're saying, he's like, you know, I can get full term life insurance for pennies a day, and it's just like, are you going to do it, Bill? It's hard to pass up. He's like, you should.
that good, I just can't pass it up.
No, fucking, they get their ass kicked. And that's when, like, he has a mental breakdown when they're sitting in the alley. He's like, we need to do this again. Like, we need to go after these kids. He's like, don't try it, Hank. Don't you remember the killing fields of the fun center? Fun center. Yeah, he starts crying. The fucking Bill.
But my favorite part in that is by the
Fucking
time
pussy.
after because they get their asses kicked twice or like 2 or 3 times in the episode,
3 or 4 times. Yeah.
Yeah, like so, like the last one before they finally get their like real game plan together.
I can't, Pops. My car's broke down.
When they're all that was the second to the last time
they fixed his car.
Yeah, they get over there and he's like, yeah, my car's broke down, and the guys to see that as a challenge are like, fuck yeah, we get to fix a car. They fix it up. He's like tomorrow
at 2.
be there. But no, and then they get their asses kicked.
We know you don't go to school.
Yeah.
Be there at 2.
Yeah, so they get their asses kicked again.
That's right.
They're hanging out the alley. Pops is there with them.
No, you do. Shake your fist at him.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
My favorite bit and all that is them driving by. Pow! Bill right in the
Damn.
fucking forehead
And you gotta
with
think-
the
you gotta-
paintball.
I don't know if you've ever shot a paintball gun. That's fucking accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that
Because
hurt.
The spread on a paintball gun is fucking wide.
Yeah,
And you can miss somebody.
and then Pops gets out in the street, starts shaking his fist. Everyone starts following suit. Bill's like finally starting to get back up.
And they kept doing, hey, look, they're waving.
Yeah, he's like, they want some more. Comes back around, pow, right in the fucking forehead again.
Was that the one where they have like the trippy flashback sequence
Yes.
that looks like the
Yeah.
fucking
Yes.
Rob Zombie,
Yeah. Some Dracula
Beavis and Butthead
yeah.
fucking music video
Yeah.
deal in that movie?
He's having a fucking nightmare. That's what it is. On the killing fields of the fun center.
Well, the reason Chris was like, this is all you, Buzz, because it just totally shocked me when I was finally watched it later on. I was like, that voice sounds so familiar, Kane. I was like, who is that? Who is that? I looked it up. I was like, Billy fucking Green Day, but
Yeah.
they modulated his voice a little bit. He kind of threw a kid voice on, just
Right.
like, "Hey guys, yeah." The tell is the friend, because Trey Cool never speaks really, but Mike has one line, and Mike didn't fucking change his voice. He's like, "Yeah, man, yada yada yada," and it's Mike Dirt to a T.
There's a clear giveaway though in the whole episode where they're studying teenagers. Dale is fucking spraying poison at like a hot dog place. There's a kid in the background, and he's getting his Dale is like, "Teenagers do not respect a man in uniform." And then
During that
and
scene.
then there's a kid in the background with a fucking Billy Joel t-shirt on.
And that's also Billy Joe, and he says it in his regular voice. He's like, "Hey man, you got that on my veggie burger," or something like that. Yeah,
pussy
but that
shit.
was him again.
That's hilarious. Mike Judge pulling in all the favors.
Oh yeah, he's had
All
to,
the
man.
guest stars.
For the whole season, there's a lot of people in it.
Yeah.
And then how does he do it? They use all them fucking stuff. He recorded Luann.
Yeah.
Hi, it's me, Luann. And like, how hard is it not to record Luann?
Yeah. Then after that, took their electricity away.
Oh yeah. I hope you enjoy the world of acoustics.
Next up, the sun that got away.
Oh, here's a trivia
The
question.
caves.
Yeah, the caves. And that's where people go out there and have sex. And
Oh, yeah.
Then there's
it's
that awkward stance between John Redcorn and Nancy. Like, they fucked in that aquarium.
What is that? The caves.
Apparently everybody
Dude,
did.
I heard that's where old people go to die and young people go to make out. What if it's where old people go to make out and young people go to die?
Here's a trivia question. So Hank has that sex conversation with Con.
Yeah.
And Hank, we got first base, second base,
Yes,
third
yes.
base.
Yeah, that's right.
What was Con's version of
I'll let
second
Cap
base?
go first.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Because Hank's very admirable with it. He's like, that sounds like a cleaner word. That's a very clean word. I like that word.
So you don't remember?
No, I don't remember it.
St. Pong or something close to that?
Close.
Yeah.
Pasampe.
Pasapeng, yes.
Pasampe.
Yeah, y'all
He's
got
like,
this.
Try not to get some pasampe. Was it 10 women to 1 man? And 80% of men are Buddhist. Try not to get some pasampe.
That's right.
Fucking Con, and Hank's
Find
like,
out that
I like
Con is
word.
a fucking lady killer back in his
He
day.
what man? You got to remember, he married men.
Yeah.
And Men's a freak too.
Men's a freak, but not only that, she's the daughter of a fucking Laotian general.
That's right.
He had to do something fucking wild because he's a Laotian redneck.
Yeah.
You remember that because he's like, oh man, rednecks here a lot like rednecks in Laos. But no, the stuff that got away is hilarious because that's a very Connie Bobby centric.
It is,
episode.
but Joseph is almost kind of sliding in, but it gets sweet at the end.
But like even Joseph's like, nah, man,
That's your girl.
that's all you, brother.
Yeah.
because she's like, once you said we could eat you, you had her.
Yeah,
It's like,
I thought that was cute.
that was great.
But I liked how even Connie the whole time was just like, there was never Joseph. It's been you, Bobby.
yeah,
I
always,
like you.
always, Bobby.
Yeah, and I like how, and I kind of brought this up talking about, we brought this up on the car ride up with Umbrella Academy. Fucking Juno's boyfriend.
Yeah.
He was, if you hadn't seen the other shit things he was doing, it felt like the first time in a long time you felt like a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Because outside of the fucked up things he was doing as a character, he was doing really good things, like really supporting her
Yeah.
and being like, look, I'm not, telling her, hey, I'm not interested in your powers. I'm interested in helping you move past this. And he was doing some really good things with her. Just unfortunately also pushing her in the direction of using powers. But
Have you watched that show?
No.
he would
it's wild.
Cap would like it.
It's wild.
But same thing in this. You saw a nice,
Like an 8-hour music
wholesome
video.
Yeah. But same thing with this episode. You saw a nice, wholesome, healthy, budding relationship.
Remember when they get out?
Yeah, they're holding hands.
Well, no,
Peggy jumps on Bobby and
Yeah, and the crane goes back down. But
right.
he's like, but Connie, Bobby, and Joseph are like, can we ride our bikes back? And Hank and Dale's like, well, yeah, you rode them here. You can ride them back. Connie, get in the car.
Yeah, and they're allowed to ride
need
their bikes
tennis
home.
shot.
but Hank and Dale are like tailgating their asses, and Bobby goes, by the way, what were you eating under there? Underwear. Ew, you were eating underwear.
Yeah.
Next up, the company man.
All right, before you read it off,
Yeah.
who's the special guest?
What's the scenario again for this one?
It's the Boston guy from Boston.
Okay, I can't remember at the top.
Northerner that act like a southerner.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember the episode, but I can't remember the special guest.
This is the only time Burt Reynolds
Oh, so okay,
plays
yeah, 'cause he's
Tatherton.
Tatherton.
Yeah.
Fatherton
Fatherton.
Fuels.
Sometimes it's Tatherton. Is it Tatherton?
It's always been
Tatherton.
Tatherton.
But it's the
But yeah, that's
first
Burt
and only
Reynolds.
time Burt Reynolds plays him.
Yeah, because
And
it tripped me up.
fucking hilarious.
Because it tripped me up the second time, or the second episode with Tatherton, where it wasn't.
Billy West,
Yeah.
the vote.
Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, Billy West does MFA or does Mr. Holloway, the guy from Boston. And this is where Hank has to lie,
Yeah.
and cheat a little bit.
I felt bad for Hank on this episode.
Yeah, because this is very because remember Bobby's writing a Sunday school report about his
Yeah,
dad, and he's saying all these lies to this fuckhead from Boston, piece of shit, who's got this one idea at Texas, like everyone's a fucking cowboy.
I know, right?
There's like shootouts still. It's like motherfucker, it's 1997.
But at the same time, like Hank's getting like a little emasculated because Tatherton is like wears the Texas stuff and is still like a smooth talker and a good salesman too,
Yeah.
and kind of stealing his
I
thunder
love
as a
that
result.
there's like a small joke, but it's so hilarious.
Alamode.
No. Where he's trying to get cowboy boots to fit. And Hank can't wear cowboy boots because his feet are too like wide.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Come on, man, can't you try something else? Would you like a Birkenstock?" He's like, "I should kick you." and like, come on, Hank, you can't be a real Texan without cowboy boots and a 10-gallon hat. And it's like, oh god, that thick Boston accent, He's like,
But what's cool is in the
Mr.
end-
Holloway, I had to give my cowboy boots. Bullshit! Get some cowboy boots. He's like, I got, and that fucking shoe salesman's like, I know we can go with it. A hat. You hurt my feelings. Oh damn! There's a lot of pussies in the service industry in Arnold.
But no, I'll still like that episode because in the end, Hank doesn't bow out. He still holds true to himself.
Yeah, the customer was just an asshole.
Yeah.
Takes him to a fucking strip club
I know.
and asked Peggy for money. Made her dress up like the waitresses
I
at the
know.
Lone Star or whatever.
God.
He's like, honey, we need steak fritters at table 7. And she's dressed like all the other waitresses. And
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, honey, are you done with break? We need you on table 4.
After that was Bobby Slam.
The wrestling.
Yes, but
wrestling.
But but I think the cool thing about this one, and it's one of the things I've always enjoyed about King of the Hill, was this was an extremely progressive episode.
Yeah, this is a Title IX episode.
They told a very good story without beating it into you.
Yeah, it's the men and women sports episode.
Yeah.
I don't think that the show ever did anything like that, where they beat anything like that.
No.
No, but they
they're
were
subtle.
very self-aware, and
They're subtle.
And
Yeah.
we'll get there, but I love the way they ended the episode.
Oh, yeah.
It was perfect.
This isn't Olympic style wrestling. No. This
is
real
real
wrestling.
But that coach is a son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember some of his best lines of that episode? He's like, this all goes back to Title IX. Dick Nixon's biggest mistake. Arguably not, but like arguably not. Biggest mistake. He's like, remember when they called Peggy? He's like, Peggy, we need you at Tom Landry Middle School. She's like, in the job? Well, women's gym. And who am I subbing for? Well, that's the thing, Peggy. We forgot to hire a women's teacher. And she's like, God damn it. And then Hank does that joke, his subtle like puns and stuff.
Yeah.
Like she's just like, so where are they stationing you at today? Fort Maddox? And so she's like, no, gym. He's like, whoa. That's serious, pig.
Oh yeah, that's
Bullshit.
right. Hank gets like super into it.
And Bobby's like, oh my God, Dad, I'm going to be a wrestler. and there's a foreshadowing in that. He's like, because Connie and Bobby are playing the video, like a Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And they're like, are there any female wrestlers? He's like, no, but a lot of the guys have breasts. A lot of the wrestlers have breasts.
But that becomes a whole thing where like Hank and Peggy are like gym teachers together, right?
No.
No.
Hank never had a part
Hank is
in it.
coaching Bobby.
Yeah.
How to be a better wrestler.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, he's like,
Explode!
He's like, he's wrapped the carpet.
But then that become a thing where Hank and Peggy kind of.
That was the shop teacher. That's in season 4.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
of.
no,
Another school episode.
this was Peggy versus the asshole gym teacher because he tried cutting women's sports, but having to,
Girls'
but wound-
sport- girls' sports.
But then wound up making it co-ed where Connie, they all had to fight to be on the team.
That's right.
I love the intro for the coaches. He's like, come join the basketball team. It's the only sport where you can bounce a ball. You bounce a ball in baseball, that's a foul. you bounce a football, that's a fumble. You bounce a hockey puck, well, that's a mandatory drug test.
The show had some
Oh my
brilliantly
God,
written jokes.
There's so many good ones, like just gems.
I
in
love
these
it.
fucking things, and it's hilarious. And
But I love the way they wrapped it up because it was definitely you could definitely feel the slight feminist angle of, women deserve to have a step in sports,
Well, you remember-
and all this
remember
stuff. So
she
they're telling a
argues-
good message.
she argues for Connie to be on the wrestling
Yeah.
thing, and then ropes Con and Min into it.
Uh-huh.
And then, which
Min.
is kind of funny because later in that episode, you see Min and Luann wrestling, and she's like, You take notes now with multicolor pen," and she's got fucking Luann in a headlock.
Yeah.
And Luann's like, "Yeah," and like flips Min on her back and like is like wrestling her, and was Bill sitting there eating pudding.
Yeah.
He's like, Bill.
Oh, no, because earlier he was
Bill's
like,
"Well, wrestling down. Come on, Hank. That's not bad. Women wrestling only
Except
when
when-
it's in pudding."
yeah. Now that's just degrading to pudding.
And he's eating fucking pudding,
He's
watching,
like, Bill.
watching Luann and Min fighting sweatpants.
Men putting fucking Luann in a sharpshooter.
Yo, yeah, dude, and she flips it. And she's like Trailer Park Strong, dude.
And I love it
Trailer
because
Park Strong, man.
Yep.
And I love it because in that, the compromise, because Bobby doesn't want to hurt Connie, but Connie wants to be part of the team and is kind of looking at it like, look, if I got to beat your ass to be on the team, I'm going to do it.
In the middle of the night, he, because their rooms are right beside each other,
Yeah.
he's like, hey, we need to figure this out.
Yeah.
And they made a plan.
Yep.
You don't see the plan be made because it's a surprise.
Yeah.
And
And they
it's-
do it so perfectly. They put on a like WWE style wrestling match.
Hits her with a chair.
Yeah.
He
They do the
uses
whole
ketchup
thing.
with a blind in the eye.
They do wrestling.
Wrestling.
Yeah. They created a
Cart
shtick.
beaters. He's like, nah, this is real wrestling.
But I just love that ending because they told a good story of equal rights, and in the end, the innocent kids found a way to make it equal without them having to actually come to blows and make it about gender.
Choose a Connie.
Yeah,
Choose a Connie.
Chizikani.
She's like, because remember she got drunk the night before. Mm-hmm. Luann, boom, 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 more corners. She's hitting the fucking softball there. She's at the batting cages.
Because Peggy can't
go
play.
Get the soda pop, Peggy.
Peggy, women can't play sports. Peggy.
And she's just like, remember Luann drives her back home and getting her in the house. She's like, there's my boy, poor little Jeffrey. She's like, that's Bobby. Yeah. Because she wanted to name him Jeffrey.
Yeah.
But Hank said
Hank said no.
I forgot about that.
Now this one is hilarious.
Yeah.
This is
And actually, real quick, I'll throw this out there. We're already at 52 minutes. How about this? How about listeners actually get a double taste of Couch Potatoes this week, but we'll split it up in two parts. This episode will come out on a Tuesday, and on Wednesday, we'll follow it up with a part 2 of season 2, simply because it's going to be easier to edit in these shorter parts and
That's fine.
upload, so we have to worry about file sizes.
Sounds good to me.
So guess what, folks? We're going to go through one more, then come back tomorrow for the rest of season 2.
How many episodes?
we're
are-
on the last episode we're on is 11.
11,
Okay.
and they have 23 in there. So that's kind of, I did a quick scroll.
This is a great episode.
But that way it kind of gives, because we're still whizzing through them pretty quick.
Yeah.
It still gives us enough time to kind of talk about each one.
and it might as well end on a good one.
Like this
Exactly.
One, like we'll do 11 episodes.
Yeah.
And then next week we'll do 12 episodes.
Well, no, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow it'll come out.
Yeah. But on the next, I'm saying the next episode will be 12 episodes long. Cause
Yeah.
it's 23
We're
episodes
on a
a season.
different timeline than all you listeners.
Yeah, because we get it first.
Bitch.
I always get mine first. This will probably come out the same day I quit my job.
Hey, and this actually works because it's a Christmas episode.
Yes.
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 Nice.
Who's the famous person in this episode?
I already see it, so Cap will have to go.
What?
Country singer.
It's not Randy Travis, is it?
No, that's later on.
Is this Tammy Wynette?
Tammy Wynette.
That's
Her last performance, actually, because she died shortly after.
And who was the Jewish boyfriend?
Oh, it's the guy from Ocean's 11, the old man.
Carl Reiner.
Yeah, he played
No
the old
shit.
Man. He played the old man in Ocean's 11, the old Jewish guy.
I think he's still alive too, Carl Reiner.
Yeah, he was in Ocean's 13.
Hank.
He's like, well, hello, Hank. How are you? He's like,
And
look,
Hank is totally put off by the fact he's Jewish. He was not expecting
well, he's
that.
Kastner.
Yeah.
Kastner. And this is a cotton-heavy episode a little bit.
Yeah, it is.
Cotton's in this episode, but
Well, and it's because it winds up being that whole thing because Hank is not thrilled over the fact that his mom is dating someone and bringing him to
because
Christmas.
he's very
Yeah.
much so.
Yeah.
But he's like, but even he like targets Gary. He's like, look, he made her carry the bags, piece of shit.
Yeah.
And he's just like, just call your dad that. You know, your dad's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he shows up and he's like, oh, hey, I got the stuff in this, like the tickets or something. And you realize, and then it's when later on you get back to the house, he's like, what is this again? Chicken fried steak? What is that, beef? I can't have beef because he had a triple bypass surgery. He's like, I'll just put it down as chicken. Chicken fried steak. And then fucking just hang it out, and he makes them sleep in separate rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking wild.
No, he didn't want possible new stepdaddy sleeping in the same
they
room
love
with
each
his
other,
mom.
too. That's what's funny.
Yeah, they genuinely love each other.
They're like they're like implied that they're freaky with each other too. Like
Oh,
anytime,
yeah,
anytime like he calls his mom on the phone, it's like, gotta go, Hank. Me and my husband are about to do
Me and Gary
about to
exchange Christmas gifts.
insert sexual fucking puns.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't wrap it. Standing there naked.
Oh, he's like, it's not much, but I can't return it.
Yeah, I can't return it because he took a fucking Viagra. And
Yeah.
it's like harder than a rock. But not fucking Gary Kasner, man. He's one of the best like secondary characters in the whole show. I think he's hilarious.
So
and he floats to Bobby a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Because Bobby's like, "Are you a war hero like my grandpa?" He's like, "Oh, I wasn't a war hero. I was in the Navy. You know, I stayed most of my time on a boat." He's like, "Oh, you got a scar just like my dad's boss." It's fucking hurt surgery.
Yeah.
The Kenny Mange scar. But no, man, it's fucking hilarious.
So the Hills go out to church. They're going out to like a Sunday mass thing.
Yeah, they're going to Christmas service.
Yeah.
And they come back and there's going to be a basketball
Immediately.
game. Yep, they come back and there's going to be a basketball game. And he gets in the house and he's
They forget something.
The finger. He's like, "Did you get my foam finger?
That's right.
The number
Yeah.
one? Yeah, I got it. The basketball one peg." He's like, and had to turn back, had to turn around. He's like, "Never mind, I'll get it."
Yeah.
And he finds it. He's like, sees all them clothes on the strewn on the ground. He's like, "What's that noise?" It's like a pound, like boom.
Oh
boom,
yeah.
boom. He's like, he's making her do laundry too, piece of shit. And he goes into the kitchen and they're fucking on top of the kitchen table.
Yeah.
And he goes blind.
And remember what made him blind? His fucking bracelet, his medical bracelet. That twing, that little ting.
Yep.
Oh, they're shy of that medical bracelet. He's like, damn it. And he comes out there with the finger using it as like a stick.
And I love for how long he tried denying that he was blind.
Yeah. "Peggy, I think I'm blind." My goodness.
What
And then
happened? You poked it with a straw?
He's like, no, the doctor asked him, he's like, "Hank, you can just tell me if you poked yourself in the eye. I can use that machine on you right now." He's like, "I didn't poke myself in the eye." Like,
No, that's what he was saying happened because it was like, he was like, "Are you sure you didn't see something traumatic or this and the other?" He's like, "No, I poked myself in the eye with a straw." He goes,
Because God forbid he tells anybody he knows that he just saw his parents having sex on the wash machine.
Oh, the catch table.
Yeah,
They sounded,
catch table.
they sounded like a wash machine.
Yeah, eventually when he tells Peggy, she's like, "Oh, we eat dinner there," and she like goes on like a manic scrubbing.
Well, they're making cookies. And she's like, "Throw them away."
Yeah.
And all right, who wants to make some cookies?
How does Hank break the news?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just meekly telling Peggy.
He just tells Peggy in the bedroom
Yeah.
before he fucks her, probably. Because he's always fucking Peggy.
Yeah.
Or does Cotton show up with Dee Dee on this episode?
No, so
Hank visits.
Hank's because remember they separate their Christmases a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Hey, I gotta drive to my dad's in Houston.
Yeah.
To go see my dad for Christmas for afternoon Christmas lunch or dinner." And the big exchange with Kasner and Cotton is the same with Khan and Cotton.
Yep.
He's like, "Kasner, I fought with your tribe in the Pacific."
But he gets no respect.
He knows off the gate that Gary's a Jew.
Yeah.
He knows off the gate that Khan is Laotian.
Yeah.
He even like squints his eyes a little bit. He's like, "No, he ain't." It's just like Cotton heel.
Yep.
You can say what you will, but you can't be racist. He's not racist because he can identify anybody like the back of a goddamn dime, man. It's ridiculous.
And I like how an accidental throwaway line for Hank. He's like, "Oh no, this is time for my shows," and it winds up being that televangelist that's like quote unquote healing
He's like,
people, and it's all bullshit.
Yeah, that healing evangelist. He's like,
Yeah.
"I found Jesus today," and he's
Hiccups be gone.
well, but no, fucking no.
Hiccups be gone.
He's like, "So, you're with old Hank's mama, huh?" Oh, is Hank's mom's name? Fuck.
I forget too.
Tilly. So you found some use for that old bag after I got done with her. He's like, hey, goddammit. And he's like, listen, I will not sit here and listen to you talk shit about my girlfriend.
Yeah.
You piece of shit. You treated her like shit. Hank, if you'll excuse me, I'll be out in the car.
Yeah.
He did one thing that Hank can't do. Stand up to Cotton Hill.
Yep.
And remember how Cotton gets
At
his
least
Christmas
yet.
tree?
Because normally, like, Hank will stand up for his mother. Like, if somebody makes a joke, Hank will just go on a fucking tirade.
He stands up to Cotton Hill one episode, but that's when Jimmy Carter shows up and he shoots out his car with a nail gun. But like, remember how Cotton got his Christmas tree?
Shot it.
He's out in his yard. It's just like a little sprig of it, like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It's just pow, pow, pow. Shoots him with a shotgun and it falls over. He's like, Dee throw some lights on that motherfucker. They're eating TV dinners because they're fucking poor.
Is this the first time we see Dee Dee, or is Dee Dee in the first season?
I think she was in the first season. Yeah, she was in the first season.
Okay.
Yeah.
And basically the wrap up on that
Dee Dee's
one
your
is
pretty grandma.
it's kind of a weird episode because the way it wraps up is
He takes
he takes him to the televangelist saying, but the way Hank gets his sight back is accepting Gary as a family member.
As a father figure. Because Gary even says, he's like, well, I hope one day you'll treat me like you do your dad. And it's nice. It's
it is.
But the funniest part is the fucking Reverend.
Oh my God.
We're healing people today.
Yeah, because that happens. He
today
gets his sight
is
back.
Jesus' birthday. He's healing people on his birthday. And I'm just like, I've seen that so much growing up.
And even Hank like stops his hand. He's like, I can see. And he's like, praise the Lord. He works.
Like, praise him. It's like, Jesus.
Oh God.
Oh, but Gary's pretty solid character.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy.
Like in I want to say next season, like Bobby goes and hangs out with Gary for a while.
He does
in Arizona.
But yeah, actually, in this one though, is when Bobby starts picking up the mannerisms. He's like,
that I like
that. I
like that. He starts. He's doing Yoda speak.
Yeah,
it's just hilarious. He's like, stop talking about that, boy.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back tomorrow with part 2 of season 2. We'll be
A
right
day-long
back.
commercial break with all the
Get
ads.
the AutoZone before they break all the glass.
King of the Hill is brought to you by New Slice. It's orange, only twisted.
A taste of something twisted.
You'll make your first incision just below the frog's thorax.